The Pseudo Direct Drive is one of the most pursued and cutting-edge motor designs. It incorporates both the gearbox and electric motor into one unit, and this gives it an advantage over its counterparts because of its lightweight design. But more specifically, this type of motor can unlock the next generation of tilt-wing aircraft. This means it can be used in something like a folding propeller so that a high-speed jet engine can be incorporated into the vehicle. So the concept of magnetic gearing has been around for 100 years. But it wasn't until the 1980s when we discovered neodymium, which is a very strong magnet. But even with new materials, this gearing system lacked efficiency, because only a few gears would actually mesh at one time. It wasn't until later when flux modulation was used, and this allowed magnets to be engaged simultaneously, and you can achieve torque densities comparable to high-performance mechanical gears. Magnomatics has made the cutting-edge leading gearing design. It has a spinning inner magnetic rotor, then it has a ferromagnetic material that is called the modulator that determines your gearing ratio, and then you have the outer stationary magnetic gear. You can vary this design, but it is essential to have two spinning rotors. Now, if you didn't have the modulator and just had the two set of rings, it would just lock in. You wouldn't have a gear ratio. So what the modulator is doing is focusing the magnetic field to certain points on the inner ring. A really good way to imagine this is to think the modular pieces are acting like magnetic teeth. So if you increase the number of magnets on the outer ring and the modular pieces, you can get a higher gear ratio. Now, this gearing is mechanically driven, and in order to get the motor, we need to introduce a stator or an electromagnetic coil to get the power. But the stator coils are not just driving a simple rotor. It's driving a rotor that's magnetically coupled to a gear system. This not only has to be a highly accurate and focused magnetic field, but it also has to have a very tight tolerance for the components. And that's why this type of motor has been very tricky to build. Now, traditional motors are kind of facing a dilemma because if you want high amounts of torque, that usually means the motor is quite large and heavy. You can make the motor really small and spin really fast, but then you have to convert that speed into useful torque, so that means you need a gearbox. So what the Pseudo Direct Drive is doing is that it's lightweight, but it can produce that high amount of torque. So naturally, we're starting to see this motor emerge more in propulsion. And Star Union was one of the first companies to claim that this can be used in an electric bike. This would be really interesting if true because it would offer zero backlash. So when you push the pedal, the response would be instantaneously and perfectly smooth. So this motor's definitely given us a glimpse of how lightweight it can be. And this type of design can be very useful in aviation. But in order to be incorporated into aircraft, it needs to be highly reliable. And there's two emerging technologies that can make this possible. One is that we're starting to see monolithic magnet builds. So instead of the rotor being built out of hundreds of magnets, it's just one piece that has multi-pole configuration. Another technology that's coming out is magnetic bearings. So you can control it electronically and levitate the rotors. It is true that many variations of the Pseudo Direct Drive are frictionless because they use air bearings, but magnetic bearings, when designed correctly, are able to handle vibrations and adjust in real time. They can also handle heavy forces and larger rotors. Not to mention that they can levitate from 0 RPM, and these attributes would be vital in aviation. So one potential application of this motor is to be incorporated into the futuristic Bell X-76. This one has a stop and fold rotor system, so it's able to take off vertically like a V-22 Osprey, and then once it reaches a certain forward speed, the jet engine engages and it can go over 500 miles per hour. The appeal to this type of design is that it can supersede the jet engine's inefficiency at hovering and taking off. And if you have rotors, you can hover for a lot longer and perform more complex maneuvers near the ground. In other words, this is attempting to solve a disk loading problem, so it can have large rotors for less power to hover. As of right now, Bell is experimenting with mechanical gearboxes, but a Pseudo Direct Drive would be very complementary to this type of drivetrain. It would be able to magnetically slip and it would have very high reliability. It could replace the weight of its mechanical counterparts, but it would still require a power source. So there's definitely a balance equation when using an electric drive. Another potential application is the open fan engine. This design removes the outer nacelle and has counter-rotating blades, and you can get really high bypass ratios, up to 60 to 1. so you can save considerable fuel consumption by up to 30%. Open fans are notoriously loud because the blades are not contained. So the Pseudo Direct Drive could allow for micro adjustments in blade speed and pitch with much higher precisions than a mechanical drive. And this can help tune the engine to be quieter, yet it can also adjust for the takeoff, landing, and cruising speeds. But it is worth noting that this motor is not replacing the main turbines in these aircraft. It's just a complementary system. So there's a big potential that this motor could be advanced with monolithic multi-pole magnets in the rotors and with magnetic bearings. But the ultimate variation would probably be a superconducting pseudo direct drive. So this type of material has zero electrical resistance, and what this means is that you can carry large amounts of current. HTS wire is commonly used in fusion reactors and things like that. And if you can make the stator coils out of HTS wire, this would make the motor 3 to 4 times lighter than a conventional drive. It's not as far-fetched as people think, because we have already built superconducting motors that utilize cryo coolers. These cryo coolers are able to keep it at very cold temperatures and superconduct. So you can have an isolated system and not need the extra liquid helium or nitrogen tanks. So it is very likely that we will see at some point a superconducting pseudo direct drive. Will it be incorporated into aircraft? Well, that's another question. More importantly, I would like to know what you think. So please leave a comment, like the video if you enjoyed it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel.